What is up? It is Friday, and we're going to go over the markets here. So, starting off with SP 500 today, this is that trade setup. I'm still testing, see if it works. All it is regarding you use 1, 2, 3 days. There's the low, there's the high, what you're looking for. Price hits the 61.8, which is the lower pink level right there. Target you are looking for is the 50% right up here. So, you see, we got closer to it, a little bit up in it today, but it didn't go up there and hit it. The high of the day was actually right here. The high of the day was actually right on the daily extension level high, ticked right off of it, and then went back down. Then later in the day, came back up a little bit to recover for pretty much flat day. It's slightly up, but nothing really happening today. It's pretty quiet. And so, yeah, so going into next week, still waiting for that to go and get filled. Looking at the extension levels. There we go right there. So looking for that for next week. So hopefully next week, kicking off here on Monday, we're going to move up. It goes in between the daily extension levels between the 1.146 and the 1.444, the highs, and goes up there and fills that target. And then I feel confident in that trade setup more and more and more, because the other ones on the way down, as I showed the other day, have already been hit. It's just this one right now has not been hit. So if we look at the MFIs down here, see we had a very rangy day, went down here to being oversold, all the way to overbought, and there we have our movements down, and then now it's down, getting close to being oversold again. Look at the 1 hour chart. The 1 hour chart got really close today to being oversold, didn't quite get there, but then yesterday it was at the oversold level. Then we had a nice little continuation move down, and now it's just waffling around. So setting us up to go either way. I know, right? Real insightful right there. But we're still looking at, if we look at the 4 hour chart right here, seeing what's going to win out, the bulls or the bears. Here we have potential measured move down to the 1.146 down here, 43.850. Or if we're looking to go to the upside, we take the low down here, right there to the high. We can see prices bounce around right off the 50% level right there. And if the bulls went out, they'll look for a target up here of 45.76.50 right there. So those are the two major moves that we are kind of the intermediate term moves that we're looking for. In the short term, just looking for this thing to go up here and get hit, assuming this trade setup still works for it. Let's see, was that one today? No, we're just looking at the 15-minute charts right here to see if we can. I know there are some trades I missed for it today. Got that one. Yeah, that one's over. So anyways, that's SP 500. Here is the Russell 2000, and one of the moves I talked about yesterday happened was that, well, here was the entry right here where the black line is. That's the entry bar when it closes below the white line. This is just using standard pitchfork, and these semaphores right here, 1, 2, 3. So when price closed below, the target was the 1.146, that orange line right there. Price came up somewhat, and then today, look at that, just had that one bar right down there to hit off of it right there, and so that trade setup is done and completed here for the Russell 2000. So go ahead and take that off. Price didn't quite hit the extension low of the day, but it did complete that trade. So going into next week, there's the high, there's the extension low starting off for the week. And if we go to the MFIs right there, nothing really. Did it? Nope, it didn't hit the overbought indicator or area right over here in the 1 hour chart. 4 hour chart, this is very interesting right here. So the Russell 2000 is very oversold without having to pop up. Right here, we can see, because this is where it gets in the oversold right there, right down here. We did have that one green bar, but there wasn't any fall through or anything like that. So we still haven't had that move up. So the MFI is on the, movements, it's making divergence where you have, it's making lower lows in the price, but in the MFI indicator, it is making higher highs. So eventually that will change, and we will get a pop up here in the MFI. Now, if we're looking to see if potential measured move could continue, well, there is, if it is going to crank back down here to this level right there, and the MFI completely gets over sold again down here, then the target we're looking for is 1805.60. So as you can see, using this high and that low, price ticked right off perfectly the 50% line right there, and so it is looking like it's set up for a really nice measured move, and it would just be down here at 1805.60. If the price does fall out and hit that, then obviously the MFI here in the 4-hour chart will more than likely go down back into the oversold territory. In fact, we oversold to make it to overbought and back in to oversold. See here we had oversold right here, but we had a nice little pop up. And then we had the sell off, and now we are looking for an oversold move up over here somewhere. So if the measured move does facilitate and happen, this is the target we're looking for down here, 1805.60. But sooner than later, we are looking for a pop up here in the Russell 2000. Now, I guess you could say there could be one potentially going the other way. I just don't like doing it gets down this low. I mean, technically, as long as this low right here isn't broken, it still can be considered a measured move, but I like using between the 50 and 61.8 Fibonacci extension level. It's kind of like the baseline to look for. But, you know, I've seen it plenty of times go down below it, doesn't break this low down here, and then powers on up or down, depending on which way it's going, and hits the target you're looking for right there for that. Dow Jones over here, this is still a short trade setup we're in. If we look at the MFI real quick, the 4-hour chart, nothing going on. 1-hour chart, today it did touch the overbought side of it, and really didn't have too much of a sell-off, just little pause within it, so I'd be on the lookout for a little bit more sell-off going into the next week. Although sometimes in the 1-hour chart, for whatever reason, you don't get that big move up, because I look down here, you had here it was being oversold. Yeah, nice little run up, and then that's all you got, and then you had a bigger sell-off. So that may be all we're getting right here for this one, where it's down over here. You had the run up right there. Now here's the oversold. You had a slight pop down, so I would look for a little bit more, but sometimes that's all you get for that one right there, because the 4-hour chart, that's the one that really carries a lot of weight. And even the 15-minute chart, for some reason, gives better signals for when the MFI gets overbought, oversold than the 1-hour chart. But it is something to look for, is since that has been in oversold territory, I mean, you did have that slight pop down right there, so maybe that's all you get. But again, I'd be looking for something, a little bit something more. And we still are in this pitchfork short trade right here. Here you had these 3 semaphores, 1, 2, 3. Price came down, closed below it on that bar right there, so that is the bar to get in right there. That's the entry point. And then we are looking for price to come back down and hit the black line, which is the entry, because price went up the opposite way, hit the 1.146 the opposite way. When that happens, move the exit down here. So where price is currently right there, I am eventually looking for a move back down. And actually, perhaps going into Monday, we'll be looking to get in short for this, because trading view drives me crazy. It keeps logging me out every time, because right now I am long in S&P 500. I got in, where did I get in at? Right about, where was it? It was the other day. I think right about here-ish, something like that, or right here. So slightly down with it. I was slightly positive today. Could have gotten out, but you know, I'm waiting for it to go up and hit there. So I'm about right there for a little bit of loss right now. Now I'll talk about Nasdaq, because I am long in that one as well. And so since the Dow Jones has gone up some more, presents a real good reward. Where I'm looking for going all the way down here. You know, you're looking at for a maximum about 475-ish points down here for this trade setup right there. So if you get in short right there and the market goes up, well, that stinks, because it's going to go against me. But if it does go up, no big deal, because then that also means S&P 500 is going up. That would get me out of the trade right up here, and we'll go ahead and go over to Nasdaq real quick. And Nasdaq, where I'm in right here, which I think I got in like right over here, right here-ish, something like that. That means that's more likely going to pop up here as well for Nasdaq, and because we're looking at these targets up here. So yeah, kicking off over here at the Nasdaq. 2 setups, talked about them both yesterday, same thing, not going to go over exactly again. But anyways, based on pitchfork trade, that is one of the exits we're looking for. This is the second inside pitchfork trade right here, and that is the exit, the black line we're looking for right there. So we do have 2 targets to the long side here on the Nasdaq, and for both of them right here, both this one used the Fibonacci, because there was the target, the 1.146. the Fibonacci extension level the other way, 2.449, was the what's the word I'm looking for? That was it's been the support line for it. And then let's see here. Let's find the other one over here. And there we go. And then you can see for the other one on here right there as well. Look at that. Two of them right together. That's been the support line for it. Let me get one of them off of there. Yeah, you see there's the inside pitchfork where it closed above it. And hide. So right there. So both of these, some good movement up, left still to run. You know, there's that target. That's you're looking at about a 1.71% gain from the market, and that one's about 2.11 right there for it. So that's what we're looking for. And Nasdaq, looking at the MFI today, we did get slightly touched over in the oversold category, and so market was running up. And look what happens. It hit off the oversold category. Didn't even hit into the. I'll tell you what. Didn't even hit into the daily high extension level zone, but for whatever reason hit the MFI, and that was put the brakes in it today, and it went down ever since. What's this saying? Slightly ahead of U.S. inflation data. So, and if you look at it right here, there's actually a measured move right here. You see right here between the 50 and 61.8 all the way to the target, and it sold off right there. So just a really nice measured move trade. Unfortunately, I haven't figured out a way how to trade the measured move the way I'd like to trade it, but when it works, that is how it works right there for that. So we'll see if you leave like so right there measure move, and then when that hits, you can just draw it right there. So as you can see, it's come back down here to this 50% line. So if it's just getting ready to reload and bounce back up as it's hitting up the new 50% level, then we'll look for the target right up here, which would be 1542.50 right there for that trade setup. And then going into there's that and that. Yes, going into Monday, those are the high and low extension levels. Here's this level right here, which fits that right in nicely for us. So it is going to pop up, look for some resistance right here in this level between around 1524.50 to the long side going into Monday for it. And then the MFI, yeah, we already had the pop down for it. 1 hour chart. Did it hit? Barely kissed off of it today, not really in it, but you did get a slight little pullback in the 1 hour chart when it did hit it for it. And then the 4 hour chart right here, it already had been, see right here, for a couple days ago, it had been in the overbought territory, and then finally we have gotten a sell-off down here in the Nasdaq here this past week over here. After in the previous week, it was already in the overbought territory. That's what signaled that. So that's how it works. You know, here it goes down to the oversold territory, gets a good push back up right here. And this thing right here was, again, this is just another measured move. Go up right there. This one did go down lower than the 61.8. It's probably about the 78.6 it went down to. Came up here and hit the 1.146. So if it is going to be a longer term move for it, it's not quite at the 50% level. Doesn't exactly have to get down there, but typically it does. If you look for a measured move here to the upside, sometimes around 38% is all it gets down to for that. But yeah, that's what we're looking for here in the Nasdaq market. Let's see what that looks like. Yeah, it could be a measured move the other way. But going over, last but not least, going over to crude oil. Start the MFI. You see crude oil right here. It has been overbought, and we really haven't had that sell-off. Right when it got to the overbought stage, it paused a little bit, but then kept on racking back up. So we are looking for eventually some weakness here in oil. You know, it'd come down at least to that level, if not lower, back in probably the mid 84s, at least something like that. And then if we go to the 1 hour chart, nothing going on the 1 hour MFI. 15-minute chart, here's this one. This is still in the 15-minute long. I did want to get in this today. Unfortunately, I wasn't able to just because I'm in some other trades for it. But because, as you see from yesterday when it opened here this morning, we had the retracement back down here to the 61.8. And this is just based upon this. What is that one right there? Oh, that's the, I don't need that on. Yeah, I don't need that on there. And that's just based on the Fibonacci retracement for this pitchfork trade right here, because there you have the close above it right there. And then the semaphore, they form after the fact, so it didn't form right when it happened, so I just used the previous 3 semaphores. So closed up right there, and that is the entry level right there, the black one. So anything getting lower than it, you have a better entry. And the target is still 88.52, which is right here. That's the Fibonacci extension level. That's the target right there for it that we're looking for. So when price came down here today, that hit off the 61.8, which is also, let me do this real quick. Let me hide this. Which was also the extension low of the day right here. Look at that, hit right off perfectly. That was the low of the day right down there. And then plus you had it on the Fibonacci retracement level for a potential measure move. It rocketed right back up for really nice gain today, but still is just topping out right over here. Still can't get that push up to that 1.146 to finish off the trade setup right there. So going into next week, looking at the highs and lows for the extensions. Extension levels are getting closer to the target up here that we're working for, and as you can see just from this pitchfork, price is following nicely along this median line right there. It's got a little dip down in here, but recovered. It's now bouncing off of it again. So are looking for a little more strength over here going into next week here in crude oil up to around 88.52. You know, get within the extension highs of Monday, and then perhaps hit that target at 88.52 from where we are right there. So that's the trading for this week. I'll tell you what, let's look at Bitcoin because it is in the short setup right here. See semaphore, price came down, broke it right there, put the black line on it. There's the entry level. So the target we're looking for is 24,410. So we are looking for more weakness in Bitcoin, at least down to 24,410 from where it is currently at. So that's it. Have a great weekend. Thanks. Bye.